700 acres with 20 liters Pika cooking oil, and 4,450 kgs bags of brown sugar, all valued at US dollars 1,673,203. The property of Frontline Turkey Plant Media Limited. True or false? On diverse dates between
a while before investigators actually then approached MATIANG'I and notified him of the intent to have him arrested. He presented himself before authorities. He was processed and they found it fit to have him. He has variously cooperated with investigators. That's therefore just showing his willingness to abide by whatever terms this court will set. Whether he is a man or a fixed abode, he lives in the Utah satellite. He has a fairly young family. As a matter of fact, his wife just gave birth the other day through cesarean section. And is still healing from the operation. He is not a flight risk. He is the sole breadwinner of his family. Therefore, we would be imploring in this court to admit him to favorable bail and bond terms that would enable him to be able to attend court when he attends to his family and caters for them. That is all.
Are made by council and considered the case that is before me and the subject matter, and the value which is $1,673,209 US. I order as follows that the accused person will be released on a bond of Kenya shillings 2 million with a surety of similar amount, for a cash bill of 500,000 with one contact person. The matter will be mentioned before court number 4 for further directions as to consolidation of the matter. 8th of August. Yes. We have not given the other file number.
We appear for all the accused persons. For you today, therefore we will be praying that the matter be mentioned on a date that we shall bring it before you to take for purpose of Mr. Abud, the second accused person.
Your Honor, for today I'll be praying that we proceed with pre-checking for the accused person here. First accused person. Then after that, I'll make the necessary application with regards to the second accused.
And Ms. Aliiba, particularly between 9th February 2021 and 26th February 2021 at Nairobi City, within the Republic of Kenya, Huyu jointly conspired to commit a misdemeanor, namely obtaining credit of cash 2,100,000. The first purchase from Joyce Cherotich.
Not so young.
Count 2. Declaring debt of liability to Joyce Cherotich, who jointly and unlawfully obtained credit with the amount of 2,100,000 from Joyce Cherotich, was also presuming that he would transfer motor vehicle requisition number KTZ into GNC and KBW and 9K as security, and that certain checks which were then produced and delivered to the said Joyce opportunity to be gaining demand letter, drawn and signed by A. Kwengu, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, affecting to be false or untrue. True or false? Count 4, the charge of obtaining goods by false pretense. On the 9th day of February 2021, in Nairobi County, the Republic of Kenya, with intent to be found to obtain from Joyce Cherotich Rono 1 table, 3 chairs, and an IMAX 27 desktop, serial number C02T20EMGG7N, all valued as cash, 220,000, the property of the said Joyce Cherotich Rono. True or false?
Not so young.
Count 5, the charge of pretending particulars on the 8th day of July 2021 at Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being an unqualified person and an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, who willfully pretended to act for Joyce Cherotich Rono to demand an outstanding debt of 62.2 million owed to her from the Katumo movement.
Not so. Pray that the accused be admitted to reasonable bond and bail terms. We will go ahead to suggest we say is reasonable, that is, we're suggesting Kenyan shillings 50,000, and we will give you reasons why we are suggesting that, Your Honor. Your Honor, the charges are emanating from a written loan agreement between the accused person and the complainant, which was signed way back in March 2001. Apparently, Your Honor, for the information of this court, the accused person and the complainant were at some point staying together or cohabiting together in the same separated after some usual minor disagreements. And that is why probably the court was hearing about a table, a chair. In the process of separation, everyone was carrying away his property, or her property. Apparently the police chose to make it as somebody is obtaining a table and a chair. Yona, I have had the statement of the court and even the prosecuting counsel in other matters, by virtue of having been sitting here, that bond terms are based on the value. Yona, I want to inform this group that the figure that is stated in that charge being 2.1 million is actually not the figure. The figure which is in this suite is actually about 620,000. And the reason being that in that agreement there were interest and other charges, penalties. The amount advanced was Kenya shillings 1.6 million, of which the accused person has already paid 1 million, leaving a balance of only 620,000. The police chose in their wisdom to include interest and other charges in the charge sheet. I'm not sure if interest and penalties can be converted to money which is being obtained by a party. And therefore, much as there is so much smoke that is pumped into the charge sheet to make it look like we are handling a very big case, the case is not actually a big case as such. It's a very minor case of a dispute of just 600,000 and parties who have been in a relationship. And therefore, we pray that the accused be admitted in cash bail of 50,000. He has been out on free bond by the police all along. This matter has been investigated all the way from 2001. I have a letter from the ODPP that was written to the accused person informing him that the matter is being investigated and will be handled fairly. And even in the letter which, this is letter dated 7th October 2021, the ODP appeared to have been admitted that this is a civil matter, which really ought not to have been investigated, but it has brought us this far. It is now before you. And we are praying, Your Honor, that you consider all those factors when you are admitting the accused to bond term. It's not a flat risk. As you can see, already has been summoned to the offices of ODPP over the same issue from 2001 to date. It's a man who has a fiscal abode, very well known. He's a businessman, known to many, and therefore is not at all a flat risk. And as such, before I forget to say that, you know, that loan was also based on a security of a motor vehicle. That is registration KB.
And we can submit that these are the most unlikely of charges that should have been brought against him. Because senior was in court, but I think maybe because of exigencies of duties will not be to be available at this moment. Your Honor, I don't understand how the state, and in this regard we're talking about the police, can go ahead and draft these charges clearly and aware that the counsel that they are alluding to, that the accused person impersonated, is available, is a senior counsel, and was ready and willing to come to affirm that those allegations are not only spurious, but completely misleading. Your Honor, we want this court to be able to look at the charges that have been brought against the accused, my client here, with a bit of pinch of salt. These are matters that we are submitting, that the police should not be used, and this court has rendered itself on this issue, should not be used for purposes of debt collection. That is a precept of another jurisdiction. And we are requesting this court to look favorably in the request that my learned senior has already stated, that this is an unlikely charges that have been brought against the accused person here. They are frivolous in nature. And actually, your learned colleague, Honorable Ehubi, had acquitted the accused person on almost a similar charge. They are trying to reincarnate these issues. We don't want to go into the depth of these accusations, but we are requesting that this court to be humbly convinced. And we have a copy of the judgment. You'll see actually it's almost a duplicity of what is being brought before this court. We're just asking this court, we are ready to proceed and handle this matter the best way through the legal processes, but we are asking this court not to be influenced by the emotions or emotive angles in which the state or the prosecution has been boxed into in bringing these charges. We agree, Your Honor, that the charges that have been brought against this person on the face value look a bit serious. But Your Honor, as a poodle, you will discover underneath there's nothing much. It's all too much fury emanating or amounting to nothing. Humbly we request, Your Honor, to admit the accused person to those terms which are very lenient and favorable of 50,000 shillings. He is ready and willing to abide and serve this court when and if is required.
The gamble to give me the scale they used to reaching into that 50,000 in Rizal. You're not bail and bond are discretional issues known to each and every judicial officer. Your Honor, not my words, but counsel's words. The charges facing the accused person here are serious. He actually said it himself. Your Honor, there are many issues that have been brought by counsels, mainly factual issues. This is not the opportune time to address this. What the court should maintain and focus on right now is what is before this court, and that is the charge sheet number 746 of 2024. Your Honor, we do pray that the court be guided by the judiciary bail and bond policy, which brings out the fact that when the court is issuing bail, it should be commensurate to the offences being charged. It also says that the court should find a balance between the accused person and the interests of justice. Your Honor, the accused person hearing is facing 5 charges. Which will substantially, if proven, give substantial punishment. I will not want to delve in the issue of debt collection as I indicated earlier. Those are issues of fact. I'm going through the charge sheet. I've not seen the word debt or collection. Don't know even where that is provided for as of now. Your Honor, I pray that the court exercises its discretion appropriately of both parties and focus on what is before it. That's the charge sheet. The offences, interest of justice,
by counsel appearing for the first accused person and the response made by the prosecution. At this point, I will agree with the prosecution that the issues that have been raised are issues of fact that can be conversed at the hearing of the case, a fact which the court is not aware of at this point. Considering that what is before me are 5 counts of different charges, which is conspiracy to defraud, obtaining credit, forgery, obtaining goods by false pretense, and pretending to be an advocate, I find that in creating a balance, I will order that the accused person be released on a bond of Kenya shillings 1 million with a surety of similar amount and a cash bail of 500,000 with 1 contact person. We'll have a mention for pretrial. And on the same mention date, the second accused person to attend court.